Alright guys, my name is Ben. I don't post a whole lot on YouTube. I watch a lot of YouTube. I watch a lot of reviews, which is kind of what led me to this right here, because I bought a new shotgun about a month and a half back, which is this Benelli Super Vinci. It's actually brand new. It's new old stock. I figured there would be a bunch of YouTube videos on it, but I couldn't really find any. I found a lot of manufacturer like Benelli videos on it, and I found there were a couple different channels that had some videos that were kind of helpful. One of them was like a 3-gun guy, but this is going to be a hunting shotgun for me. As you can see, I've got several other Benellis. I've got more than this that's not on the table, and then I've sold a Super Black Eagle 2 that I had for years. I sold it to a good buddy of mine. But this is a Super Black Eagle 3. This is a very comparable gun to the Super Vinci. Both are 12 gauge chambered, both 3.5-inch guns, both 28-inch barrels. And then my wife has a 20 gauge Super Black Eagle 3, which is an awesome gun. If you're looking for a 20 gauge, that is a very, very fine shotgun. But anyway, also have this Supernova. This was kind of my first like good shotgun, I guess you could say. My parents bought me this about the time that this right here was like the flagship shotgun, or the Vinci at that time was the flagship shotgun for Benelli. So kind of, I guess you could say a little nostalgia, because Duck Dynasty was out. It was a very popular show at the time. This was the flagship shotgun. They were all shooting Benellis, and that's kind of what led me to try this gun out. And I've had great success with this gun. It's been an amazing gun, which it's a pump. I mean, if a pump doesn't function, that's a major problem, like major. This gun's been flawless. I hadn't had any trouble with it. I actually accidentally ran it over with a car. A buddy of mine set it up against my back tire, or me one, set it up against the back tire of my truck at the time, and it got forgotten about. Put the waders and everything else in the vehicle. This was sitting outside, and I ran over it, so it's got some scratches on the receiver here, but it still shoots and cycles and does all the things it needs to do. But anyway, back on topic. This gun I've only owned for about a month and a half. I really just kind of wanted to go over what's different in my opinion on it versus the Black Eagle. You know, whether you're looking at a used shotgun, if you can find one of these that's reasonable, that's used, or if you wanted to go out and buy a new one, find like a new old stock, you know, basically just kind of give you the differences and what I like and maybe don't like about the shotgun. I guess first things that I don't really care for, I feel like the ergonomics are better on the Black Eagle 3. You know, you have your bolt hold back right here, just right beside the trigger assembly and the trigger guard. To me, that's a much better place to put it. I'll show you where this one is here in a minute. And then I also like how the crossbar safety is in the rear of the trigger. To me, that's how it's supposed to be, and I just kind of prefer that more. The bolt release, this is standard bolt release. I don't have an oversized release or anything on this gun. I hate wearing gloves unless I just absolutely have to. Unless I'm miserable, I don't have gloves on. I don't like, the dexterity just isn't there. I have weird hands. They're fat, little short fingers, and gloves never end up fitting me right. On the Super Vinci, you've got the trigger guard. You got the crossbar safety in front of the trigger, which I'm not a huge fan of, but it's doable. You can get used to it. It's not that big of a deal. The bolt release is this kind of odd looking deal here. It's fine. It's larger than it is on the Black Eagle, on the Super Black Eagle 3 factory bolt release anyway. You can always replace that with like a Rob Roberts or whatever you want to do, but they do make oversized ones for it. Charging handle, it's you know, same deal, same size pretty much. Is a little bit different design. The bolt catch and magazine tube feed is kind of in an odd place. It's right here dead center of the start of the trigger guard. And that's how you lock your bolt back and how you put a shell into the receiver here. The gun, you know, the things that they said about it at the time, light recoiling, super easy to take apart, super easy to clean. I don't know how true all that is. It does take apart much different. What's neat about the shotgun is not only the look, love it or hate it, I've kind of grown fond of it. It is very different looking, especially with this forearm integrated trigger group that's on it. It's just got an odd look. The gun does take apart different than a Super Black Eagle. We'll go over that here in a minute. But the operating system is different as well. It does not have a recoil spring in the stock like the Super Black Eagles and pretty much all other inertia shotguns have nowadays. There's actually 2 recoil springs that's in the receiver of the gun. It's almost like a blowback design. I mean, I guess is what you could call it, but there's 2 smaller springs that are here in the receiver with guide rods going up to the bolt. Same rotating bolt head. You know, as far as like the Benelli click, I did have that problem on my Black Eagle 2. I have not had that problem at all with my Black Eagle 3. My wife has not had that problem at all with her Black Eagle 320 gauge. The springs feel stiff enough to where the bolt goes into battery very well. Like it's kind of hard to hang up, similar to the Black Eagle 3. Like you can't hardly make this thing come out of battery. So I don't think that's going to be a problem. But again, I have only owned this shotgun for about a month and a half, and I can't really speak to that. The main thing I guess I want to address is because it looks so different and so funny, it looks like it would be clunky. It looks like it would be similar, like pointability and feel to the Nova, but that's not the case at all. The shotgun feels very much like a Black Eagle. So if you're accustomed to this, you know what a Black Eagle feels like. This isn't too far off. The Super Vinci actually fits me just a hair better because I have actually changed the shims out in this shotgun. I have not changed the shims out in the Black Eagle 3, and I need to. It's a little bit too high for me, and I'm looking down on the barrel a little bit too much. I don't have the best alignment there, but I still shoot the shotgun well. It feels good to me. It just doesn't point quite where this one does right now. And again, I know that's more than likely just the shims. I don't think this thing has some kind of is anything more special than the Black Eagle 3, but for now it does point better for me. One important thing to note, the Super Vinci is serialized on the upper receiver and the barrel. You cannot separate them. It is unlike a Black Eagle 3. So if you're a guy who's going to have one shotgun to do it all, and you think maybe one day you're going to want to chase ducks with a 28-inch barrel, and then come spring and turkey season you're going to want a 24-inch barrel, this ain't for you. Whereas the Super Black Eagle, the barrel separates from the receiver serialized, you throw a new barrel on it and you're good to go. Same can be said for pretty much any other shotgun. As far as taking them apart, or go back to the recoil. The recoil to me, shooting bird loads, very similar, can't tell the difference, honestly. I've shot ounce and an eighth in these. You will see reliability issues if you look at the forums with the Super Vinci shooting ounce loads. I will say I have had malfunctions with 1 ounce loads. All of my loads, even the light ones, for dove season are ounce and an eighth, and it does cycle ounce and an eighth shells reliably from what I've seen so far. Again, I've only owned it a month and a half. So the interesting thing, I guess, about this shotgun is the way that you take it apart. And it breaks down unlike any other shotgun I've ever seen. You have a button right here at the forearm, and if this video gets taken off YouTube for me taking a field stripping a shotgun, so be it. I really don't care. I'm not a YouTuber, so I'll take the hit. I don't mind. Quarter turn on what would be the nut for the magazine tube. Whole thing comes apart. You got your trigger assembly and your foregrip all in one, and then you also have your magazine tube. This magazine tube, I believe, slides right out, and you can replace it with an extension, magazine tube extension. So if you're like snow goose hunting or something like that, you can do that very easily if you can find the parts for that. Benelli doesn't seem to be selling parts much for these guns anymore, which is a risk I guess I was willing to take. I got this shotgun for about $13.99 or $14.99. I can't remember offhand. So comparable to like the M2s, and a lot of people don't like the new style of M2. You know, your Black Eagles nowadays, they're selling for $17.99, $18.99, near $2,000 just for the base models, and then you start getting into the special waterfowl edition. That's the Rob Roberts. I mean, you're going to spend upwards of $2,000 easy. So this shotgun was quite a bit more affordable than that. But again, on the disassembly, you know, you've got your stock, you've got your barrel and receiver. I put it between my legs, and you just do a quarter turn, and it'll go to the right if you're looking at it from a 12 o'clock position, and then this separates just like that. So the two recoil springs are down here in the receiver. I doubt you can see them, but there's guide rods that run up past the bolt here to keep everything on track. I've got it pretty dry right now. I don't have a lot of lube in my experience, a lot of oil. These shotguns, they can run dry pretty good. Just a couple drops of oil does them fine. And then you just have your ComfortTech stock here. Stock is pretty much the same. I will say the ComfortTech, it seems like the older ComfortTechs are much more stiff. The chevrons and also the cheek well is much more stiff than it is on the Super Black Eagle 3. The Super Black Eagle 3 is really soft to the touch. You will see problems too on the forums about basically the trigger guard biting people with heavy loads like 3.5 inch. They have since, from my understanding, changed the shape of the trigger guard here to help with that. And like I said, I can't speak for it personally, not yet. Haven't put any 3 inch or 3.5 inch loads in this gun. It's just been 2 3/4 bird loads. This is the Optifade Marsh camo pattern, and like I said, I've got very few rounds in the shotgun, but I just kind of wanted to make this video, show you the differences, show you the kind of cool things about it, the quirky things about it. The biggest thing to me is just understand that it doesn't look as good as it is. When you feel it and point it, the gun points very, very well. I mean, so similar to the Black Eagle that, I mean, blindfolded, you could tell what you're holding, but they point very, very similar. Does not feel like the Supernova, as clunky kind of feeling as it is. So again, the Supernova, great gun, but it is a little bit of a brick. I know a lot of people that have this shotgun. I've had great luck with this shotgun, but it is hefty compared to the slimline Black Eagle 3 and how this feels. It feels very slimline despite kind of this odd shape. But anyway, if y'all want me to do an updated video when I get some rounds through this gun, several hundred to 1,000, 2,000, whatever, take it through duck season, let me know. I typically shoot shotguns quite a bit, not as much as I would like, but we do. This shotgun should have several hundred rounds through it by the time duck season rolls around. And I'm not just a huge duck hunter. I primarily deer hunt, but I will be taking this to the field with me to duck hunt. So it's a neat gun. It really is. The way that it works, I don't know if there's any other shotguns out there that are quite the same. So if you got any questions, or if you have a Super Vinci, let me know how you like it in the comments. So far, I'm pretty impressed with it. I like it, especially for the price that I picked it up at. As long as it functions good, I don't think I'll have any regrets on the purchase. One thing that I will say before I let you go, there is a plastic red tab that's at the back of the receiver, and it kind of fits down in a groove. It's got an ear on it, on that plastic tab. I have seen and heard where those have broken on people from time to time. That kind of scared me, so I went out online trying to find them. Could not find them at Midway, Brownells, Benelli, anywhere, and ended up stumbling up on a guy who had like 20 of them on Gunbroker, and he was selling them kind of at a premium price. But I went ahead and bought 8 of them because, you know, take this thing apart and clean it, and the ear breaks off of it, and you got, I mean, I think it'll run without it, but I'm not for certain on that, and that's just a situation I didn't want to happen. So I do have some spares when it comes to that. But overall, really like the gun. Looking forward to shooting it and shooting it more and getting a feel for it. But anyway, y'all got any questions, let me know.